As they say, third time is the charm, and certainly for this video I hope it is. So, it's kind of a long time coming for me to pick this up again, especially given my own spiritual path and workings that I've been doing. That is the subject of Hecate and the Clifoth. Now, is she a part of it? Is she linked to it? Let's answer it all. Let's get into it. Okie dokie, if you're new here, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. I'm Sarah, that divination witch. This channel is a safe space and community. You can share, ask questions, nothing silly, we don't judge. If you want to join, hit subscribe. And if you want to support me or the channel, help me do what I do, all of my links are below. I've got readings, I've got a website shop for that, I've got Patreon. I'm teaching a heck of a lot of different things on there about Hecate, tarot, magic. We're doing our own path working. There's all sorts going on. So I would be so grateful if you could check it out because it helps me continue doing this. So thank you. Okay, so I've talked about this on the channel. If you're not new here, then you'll have seen some of the videos so far. I've got a playlist about the Qlippoth now as well as my whole Hecate playlist that I've had for forever. I will never stop talking about Hecate. It's just sometimes, you know, as my path changes, things change, my perception changes. Now, I want to start by saying, bouncing off what I just said there, as we learn and grow, our understanding grows and changes. Our opinions as people can change. And I've mentioned this on the channel before, but especially when you are spiritual and you're learning constantly and having a new understanding of things and trying new things and having a new interpretation of things, then your reality can shift. So as a content creator, sometimes I've had to go back and take videos down that I no longer agree with, even my own opinion in them, because it's changed, because I know better, I know more, I know different. This is why I always say never. Don't get on soapboxes. I've been guilty of that myself in the past. Nobody knows everything. You might think you do, but you never do. No human does, and I don't think we ever will, because we're not meant to, because we couldn't possibly. And also the way that each person understands things and experiences things is going to be unique to them. Life is complex. Reality is complex. Blows my mind on the daily at the minute. So yes, bear that in mind, okay? But I will still share what I know. And this is not me saying that I know everything. Like I've said, you can have your own interpretation. And you can certainly have your own interpretation about this as well. So, when it comes to Hecate, she is not just a goddess of witchcraft from the Hellenic pantheon and all this. That's a part of her, of course it is. But that's not all she is. She is beyond words. She is everything. The more I am getting to know her, and not just what's in a history book, the more I am understanding. She has so much to her that she is a part of everything, and she can work with people in many different ways. Even if you did look up her epithets, literally do a Google of it, Hecate epithets, you'll see them. There's hundreds. She's got epithets that are angelic, demonic, and everything in between. Motherly, not so motherly, primal, animalistic, caring, protective, light being, like so many different things. So many. And with that being the case, she is all-encompassing. Therefore, she could come to somebody in a caring, nurturing, motherly form. She could come to somebody in a strict teacher form. She could come to somebody as a lover. Caveat to that, there are those who do take that to the extreme and make it into some sort of fanfiction-y thing. No. But there is a time and a place for that, is what I'd say. She could come to you in any way, is what I'm trying to say. And some people will always kind of work with her in a New Age concept. Some people will always work with her in her Hellenic guise and follow Hellenismos, and that's what's right for them. Some people may be more eclectic but might not want to see her darker sides. And there is a lot of fear-mongering in her name, and this is why I set up this channel once upon a time, to dispel that, okay? Because that's not all she is. Is she capable of it? Yeah. But is she going to do that? No. Why? Because she doesn't just do that needlessly, because it would negate everything else she does. She's a guide for lost souls. She's a teacher, a mentor, a mother. She loves us all, even non-witches. She is the divine feminine, you know, and to unjustly hurt people, well, it just goes against everything. She could hurt people if she really wanted, but it's got to be justified. That's the way she is. Anyways, so that's her in a nutshell. As best as I can say that she's just everything, right? And how she approaches you, well, it's going to be personal to you. You may always stay in, I don't know, the neo-pagan way or the Hellenic way or whatever. Or you might change your mind. Now for me, once upon a time, I did see her in more of her Hellenic guise, neo-pagan, like a mixture of the two, witchcraft goddess, crossroads goddess, all of that. I didn't want to see her demonic side, let's say, her darker sides. It is not to say she's a demon in the Christian sense, absolutely not, or Abrahamic sense. And yes, a million times you'll hear people online say, demon doesn't mean that, blah, 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 it's a Greek word, and yeah, we know it. I'm not going to hash over all ground. Hecate does have a time and a place and aspects of her that are more akin to the infernal divine, to demonology, to things like that, right? And I've been exploring that more myself. But that isn't all she is. And I do feel as well that there are other people who look at that side, and I'm not just talking fearmonger, but they relish it. And they thrive in that, and they're like, well, that's all she is, and blah, and like make this whole thing about it. And they don't want to accept that she's light as well. It's just, there's two parallels here, where there are certain people who don't want to accept she's got darkness, and there are certain people that don't want to accept she's got light. When she's everything, why can't you accept that? She's everything. Anyways, so once upon a time, when I first started researching the Qlippoth and the Sephiroth many years ago, when I was looking into more different sides of Hecate, not necessarily working with them, but trying to understand her better, there were a lot of these edgy arguments, not everybody, but there were a few that I encountered that said she will put you on this dark path. And the way people talk about the Qlippoth, gosh, they go on like it's some sort of edgy thing, and it's pathetic, right? But we'll talk about that another time. You know, it's an ego thing, very ego-driven people talk about it and scare people about it and things like this. So to me, that raised a red flag, because that's all I was hearing. I wasn't as well knowledgeable, as well versed. I'm trying to say two phrases at once. But I wasn't as well versed as I am now, having completed the Qlippoth at least once. And it's not to say I won't do it again, but I have gone through it once now. I see, yes, it's intense. Freaking heck it is. But it is not like Edgelord City like these people make it out to be. But because of that, it tainted my view on it. I never wanted to ever do it. I thought it was a pile of junk. I didn't want to look into it anymore. How wrong I was, of course. And I remember the first video I made on it was ranting, essentially saying, she's not a demon, how dare you? She's got F all to do with it. And what I did know about the Qlippoth at that time, and I still do know, obviously, is that Lilith is associated with it. It is said that Lilith is the Qlippoth. Lilith is the mother energy of demonology, you could say. And I love Lilith. If you're not new, I work with her too. And I worked with her back then, but I didn't know as much about her back then. I feel like this whole time has been slowly easing me into reality, let's say, over many years. So that was the first video. And then as time went by, I realised, oh, it's not so clear cut. But I still wasn't in a place where I felt okay to do this thing myself. I still didn't know how I felt about it, and I wasn't fully knowledgeable about it. I didn't know its origins, meaning the Qlippoth. I just knew it was a thing, knew a bit more about it, but that's it. Because I was learning more about Hecate, I made another video saying she can lead you to it, yes. And that is true, she can. She can lead you to any path. Light, dark, whatever is resonant for you. Because she's everything, remember? So I made that video. But I didn't understand it as deep as I do now. So let me explain. Hecate can lead you to any path, as I've already said, and I still agree with that. She is everything. So if you work with her, she is the torchbearer, the guide. So she's going to guide you to where you need to be. And if it so happens you need to work the Qlippoth, you will work the Qlippoth. That's what happened to me. If it's a Sephiroth, you'll do that. If it's something entirely different, leading you to a different deity, leading you to your ancestors, leading you to literally anything, she will do that. Light, dark, anything in between. She is the gatekeeper, the key bearer. She knows her stuff. So we have established that. But there's also more to it. Qlippoth and Sephiroth are two sides of the same coin. They are part of Cabala, and one is the tree of life, one is the tree of death. One is ruled over by typically angels, one by demons. Yes, there is a version of Cabala that is from Judaism, which is spelt with a K. There's also a version of Cabala that I've been working, spelt with a Q, from Hermeticism, which is open, and that's what I've been doing. And the Hermeticism concept takes that, and instead of pinning it to a religion, looks at the universal scale of things. Because as you work through the trees, either side, they're represented by planets, and it's planetary energy. The bottom few planets are the microcosm, the outer planets are the macrocosm. And on a psychological level, it is your inner workings that affect your big reality, you know. So inner picture, bigger picture. Inner workings, outer workings. Inner knowledge, outer knowledge. We get it, Sarah. All right. So when you are going through this from a hermetic standpoint, not based on religious teachings, based on planetary energy, you may encounter different beings, different deities. It's going to be personal to you, and I will eventually be sharing more of my journey, which you can go listen to and see what happened to me through my first round going through. But when I was going through, I have met deities from all different bleeding pantheons in those spheres. It was not just demons, and some of the so-called demons you're meant to meet, I didn't, because it's personal to you. Yes, Lilith was there, Minerva was there, the Kale was there, Njord, right, that was back in Malkuth that I met him. Arabzarak, it was Odin, and Vlad, meaning like Vlad the Impaler. It wasn't even a deity, it was Vlad the Impaler. It was a lesson about, look, it's a thing I need to talk about. It was a lesson about vampirism and the edgelords and stuff. That was something I was dealing with though, and yeah. I met other spirits that were once people. I had things happen in my life that, yeah. Hecate did come to me a few times as well. So therefore, with that being the case, depending on your personal experience, she could be part of it. Because what these path workings are, at the core of it, are man-made. Whether those men created it in the 1500s or whether it was Crowley and Kenneth Grant in the 1900s, they were still man-made. And that's what we're forgetting. This stuff, yes, you can incorporate magic into it and all this jazz, but it's deep psychological work. And you may be astral projecting and you may be having these profound spiritual experiences. But at the core of it, it is your psychology, it is your inner knowing, it is your inner being. It's alchemy. You are growing and you are changing and you are accepting and learning and evolving. That's what it is. So it's going to be so personal to each person. And having done that myself, now I see it better. So Hecate could be part of it, but come on, when was Njord ever meant to be part of such a thing? You know? But I did see him. Why? Well, you'll find out eventually. But yeah, it's personal to you as a person, right? So yeah, she could be part of it. But don't worry. Don't get hung up on these things, these labels and stuff. I used to get hung up on them all the time, but I've grown that much. I'm like, I don't give a shit. People project onto me all the time too. Like, think what you want. I'm just going to do my thing. Don't let it affect you. This is the thing, us as humans, we let these things affect us. These so-called trivial things, these labels, and want to put things in neat little boxes and categories when actually that's not how it works. And it never will, no matter how much we try. It's like putting a square peg in a round hole. You know, we try and force it in, but it doesn't work. And that's ultimately that. I hope this explained things a bit better and helped. Hopefully I'll never have to do this video again. Alright, if you want to learn more about Hecate, check the playlist out on the channel. Check out the Clifoth playlist and the Cabala playlist if you're interested in it. Anything else, let me know. All that jazz, hit subscribe. And until next time, stay safe, stay witchy. Bye loves.